Good morning, students. Welcome back again. We were discussing chapter number 5, that is all about India's heritage. What kind of heritage? The heritage which is related to science and technology. Right? We have seen 4 topics in the previous sessions. Which are the 4 topics that we have seen? That is the heritage of ancient India. In which India? That is in the field of science and technology. Second topic that we have discussed is metallurgy. Right, that is all about metals. Third topic that we have discussed is all about chemistry. What are the different chemical equations that have been made which were giving benefits to the humans living in the society with different kind of experiments done by different experts. Right, and the fourth is science of medicines and surgery. Different kind of weapons and all that kinds of surgeries were even being done at the previous era, in the historic era. Right, so that is all about the heritage thing that we have discussed in chapter number 5 in the previous topic. Right, I request the students, those who have not watched the video, please watch part number 1 of chapter number 5 and then begin with part number 2. Right, today we are going to discuss the last 3 topics of your chapter, that is of chapter number 5. Mathematics, how it was being done, how everything started at the ancient level, that is all about mathematics. Second is astronomy and astrology. The people, we can say Jyotish, right? All kind of futures were being experimented, were being told by the people at even that point of time. So that is again an ancient concept and a kind of heritage thing that we have still preserved today. So that is astronomy and astrology. And the last topic, that is Vastu Shastra. Right? What is all these 3 topics? What are they? How it were being developed, what were the things that were being done at that point of time in the ancient time, that is which is related to science and technology. Right, we are going to discuss all these 3 topics today. Take out your textbook, page number 39. Mathematics. Many epoch-making mathematics discoveries were considered to be made in India, through which contemporary global affairs are carried out. Right? Mathematics is one of the most important things in this world. Without maths, nothing is possible. Right? It was considered important even at that point of time, and even today, mathematics is one of the important subjects that you are dealing with. The gift of India to the world are discovery of zero, decimals, systems, algebra, theory of Bodhayan, geometry and arithmetics. All these things are different parts of mathematics. That is all what we are studying right now. Aryabhatta discovered zero. The process of writing zero after figure was discovered by the sage named Gruth Samad. Who discovered zero? Aryabhatta. That is, he discovered the zero, that is the process of writing zeros after figures were being discovered, 1 to 9, and after 9 it is 0. Right, the value of 0 that was being discovered by Aryabhatta. The ancient Indian mathematics have decided the names of the numbers made up by placing 53 zeros after 1. Decimal systems has been seen on measuring and weighing instruments. To weigh something, to measure something, the decimal systems has been placed. Even today, if we go to a grocery stores, right, and whatever amount of food grains or whatever amount of things that we buy, they put it on that weight scale and then they give it as per the kgs. Right, so that zero system that we see on the machine, that is all about the decimal systems. That is all about the decimal system. So we can get the proper quantity of food as per the weight that we are buying from the particular shop. So that thing was being introduced or was being made in the ancient time by this particular person, that is Aryabhatta, who discovered zero. Decimal systems have been seen on measuring and weighing instruments which have been found from the remains of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. What is Harappa and what is Mohenjo-daro? That we are going to learn in chapter number 1. That is a very ancient India. The most almost 300 to 400 years back. Right? We are talking about that particular area. At that point of time, the weight machines were being there. And people used to, weight the particular things that they want and they buy it from the market. So it is a system which is not followed today or maybe of few years. It is an ancient system. It is an Asian system, and if something that we find that is an Asian system, we call it today that is the heritage. That is the heritage. What is the heritage? The preservations of all those things. The preservation of all those things. That is what we call heritage. But we are discussing two heritage concepts. Which are the two heritage concepts? That is in the field of science, and that is in the field of technology. Right? So we are discussing today, that is all about mathematics. That is a part of science and technology. Right? It has been acknowledged by Medhiti during the ancient time. Bhaskaracharya had written books on Lilavati Ganit and Bij Ganit in 1150 AD. 1150 AD. Right? If you don't know the full form of AD, AD means Anno Domini and BC means before Christ. Right? When Christ was being born, it became 0. It became 0 and it started till 1, 2, 3, 4 till 2020. Right? And AD means the era before Christ. Right? That is AD, Anno Domini. So it was 1150 AD. These books were written on Bij Ganit and Lilavati Ganit. Right? That was been written by Bhaskaracharya. Right? It discovered the signs of addition, that is plus, subtraction, that is minus. Right? He even discovers the sign at that point of time. Right? So mathematics is a very old and ancient concept. Right? It is not the today's concept, or maybe 10, 20, 50 years down the line. 1150 AD. So you can count how many number of centuries have been passed. At that point of time, the discoveries of the signs, that is addition and subtractions, were being made. Right? And who invented all these things? That is Bhaskaracharya. Right? Brahmagupta introduced the type of equations. Brahmagupta introduced the types of equations. Even equations were being developed at that point of time. Right? Bodhayan discovered theorem. The theorems that you are studying right now in your standard 10th. At initial level, when it was developed, it was Bodhayan who discovered theorems, that is triangle policy. Apstataba had decided the measurement of sacrificial pits used for Vedic yagnas in Shulva Sutras, that is in 1800 BC. Underline that statement. Right? Many, Yag Vedas were being used, and many sutras, that means many kind of, we can say dialogues that were being used in 1800 BC. Right? Even that became very popular. That is also a part of mathematics. Right? In 1800 BC. Underline that statement. It also consists analysis of principles, that is rules and regulations. If I'll say 1 plus 1, so as per the rule of maths, it is always going to be 2. Right? We cannot say 3, 4 or 5. So there are some principles even that were being developed in the ancient time, which were related to the subjects of mathematics. Right? So that principles were being followed at that point of time also. Aryabhatta had mentioned the value of pi, that is 22 by 7. Right, in his book, that is Aryabhattam. That is Aryabhattam. That is the book, and Aryabhatta discovered two things. First, he discovered 0, and second, he mentioned the value of pi. That is 22 by 7, 3.14. Right, in which book? Aryabhattam. Underline that statement also. Right? He also propounded that pi is constant to show the ratio of circumferences and diameter of the circle. Right? Pi is somewhere related to the circle. Right? For more information, you can contact your maths teacher. He will explain you more briefly related to pi. That is 22 by 7. But as a part of social science, you need to remember that Aryabhatta discovered 0, and he also mentioned the value of pi. That is 22 by 7. And he also says that pi remains constant to show the ratio of circumferences and diameter of the circle. What actually it is, how it has been made, why it is 22 by 7, you can contact your maths teacher. He will explain you more, or he will justify this topic more briefly rather than me. But you just remember the name of the book and who discovered it. The name of the book, Aryabhattam, and who discovered or who mentioned by Aryabhatta. What he discovered? Zero. Right? This is what you have to remember in social science. Multiplication, addition, subtraction, square root, cube root, etc. Ashtanga method introduced Aryabhatta in his work. Hence, Aryabhatta is known as the father of mathematics. Again, underline that statement. Aryabhatta is known as the father of mathematics. Multiplication, addition, subtraction, square root, all these things. That is Ashtanga method. Right, a kind of a method through which we can add, multiply, subtraction, square root, all these things are possible. He discovered all these things, right, which was introduced in his book. Hence, he is known as the father of mathematics. Who is the father of mathematics? Aryabhatta. Moreover, he had written many books like Dasgitika and Aryabhattiyam. He had described main principles of astronomy, in short, in his book named Arya Siddhanta. Right? Again, underline that statement. He has described the main principles of astronomy. The main principles of astronomy. That is your next topic that we are going to discuss. Right? So, what are the principles on which astronomy works that we are going to see on the next few minutes. Right? So, again, he also found or also described the principles which are related to astronomy in his book named Arya Siddhanta. Underline that statement. He found the solution of fundamentals of mathematics, right? He discovered many things. You can see Aryabhatta is the father of mathematics and he found many things. Addition, multiplication, square root, right? He discovered zero. He written the book that is Aryabhatta. He also gave the main principles which are related to astronomy. And last, that is, he also found the solution of fundamentals of basic mathematics, that is arithmetic and geometry. That is arithmetic and geometry. So we can almost say that the majority concern of this subject was being found by Aryabhatta. And which book it is? Aryabhatta. Which book it is? Aryabhatta. Right? That is what the book that he has written and given all the equations, subtractions, multiplications, square roots. He also give the principles of solutions which are related to arithmetics and geometry. All these things are being in this book. How it has been done, what kind of methods have been used, what are the solutions, what are the different methods through which these equations are being followed, how multiplication and subtractions is being done, has been given in detailed information in his book. That is why Aryabhatta is known as the father of mathematics. Right? Make sure you remember each and everything which were being part of a particular development or which were being a part of mathematics were mainly discovered by Aryabhatta. Right? So that is all about mathematics. And the last paragraph. Apart from this, various aspects of mathematics has been discussed by many scholars in their books. And as the time flowed, right, as the time went, many experts from various aspects of mathematics have been discussing many things in their books. Among them, the scholars like Bodhayan, Apstamba, Katayan, Bhaskaracharya and Brahmagupta are included. Many other scholars during even that point of time, maybe 5, 7, 10 years down the line, there were many scholars at that era also who discovered many things, who discussed many things, right, in their scholastic views, in their own point of view. They wrote in their own books, right, which developed this subject more and more. Right? That is all about this subject, that is mathematics. Right? Now you might be having a question whether mathematics belongs to science or technology. Mathematics is a part of science. Why it is a part of science? Because maths works on certain principles. Even science also. So if it is talking about principles, that is rules and regulations, certain fundamental rules, so that is a part of science. That is a part of science, right? So we can say that maths is a part of science. That is all related to the rules and regulations, and in a systematic process, all the solutions are being developed, right? I hope the concept of mathematics is clear. There were many scholars, many experts at that point of time, but majority of the contribution related to the subject maths, that was being discovered by Aryabhatta. Right? In which book? Aryabhattam. Right? He is known as the father of mathematics. Remember the points like this, so it would be easy to remember the concept of mathematics. Whatever I have made you underline the statement, note it down in your book so that you can remember the concept of mathematics very easily. Right? This is how you need to remember each and everything. Then it would be very easy to learn social science. It will never be boring. Right? You need to learn in a step-by-step process. So it will be easy for you to remember the concepts. Right? Next. That is on page number 40. See, there is one chart given, that is other science, right? That is not again an important concept, but I request the students, there are 7 names of the books that are being given and the author's name that are being mentioned. There were many experts at that point of time who wrote different books with different names or different authors' names, right? I request the students to read it once, right? Majority this kind of things is not been asked in the exam, so you just need to go through this particular 7 name of the books and the authors who have written this book, right? Next, that is astronomy and astrology. Difference first of all, astrology and astronomy. What it is, try to understand from the book. Astronomy is the most ancient science. Underline that statement. Astronomy is the most ancient science. Many works, that is Grantha, related to astronomy had been written in India. An organized and deep study of astrology was made by Indian ancient universities. Again, underline that statement. An organized and deep study of astrology. We are not talking about astronomy. Now we are talking about astrology. Right? A deep study of astrology was made by Indian ancient universities. Planets and their movements, constellations and other celestial objects were used for calculations through which astrology and astronomy were developed remarkably. Predictions were being made on the basis of planetary movements. Through which whatever we call in Gujarati, that is what we call is Rashi. Right? And all that things are being decided on the basis of the movement of the planets, right? Many people wear that rings, a kind of a gem that you wear which gives you a certain kind of protections. Why you are being given that kind of gem? To protect yourself from other things which are not favoring for you, right? So you wear that gem and that will protect you. This is what all about astrology is. Right? And that is also a part of mathematics. They make certain kind of calculations through which they give you the suggestions or they give you the advice, right? And that gives you the benefit, a kind of a movement that has been done in the planets and through which they can say whether certain things are in favor or are against you, right? This is what astrology is all about, right? And that is again in part of an heritage, that is a part of a history. And we have still preserved today. Even today, many people believe in all these concepts, right? Many people wear gems in their own hands. That is again a part of the things that has been still followed today, right? It is an ancient thing. And still it is preserved, so that becomes heritage. Right? Next. Predictions were being made on the basis of planetary movements. Aryabhatta made a remarkable contribution. See, again Aryabhatta is over here also. Aryabhatta made a remarkable contribution in the field of astronomy. So the first Indian satellite was named Aryabhatta. Again, underline that statement. The first Indian satellite was named Aryabhatta on his name. He declared the earth rotates on its own axis, and he proved that the basic reason for lunar eclipse is the shadow of the earth, which was addressed as Ajarbar by the scholars. In the same manner, Brahmagupta popularized the laws of gravitation in his book Brahma Siddhant. Right? This is what very two important people. One is Aryabhatta. Right? The first Indian satellite was made on his name. Underline that statement again. And he also declared that Earth rotates on its own axis. And he also said the concept of lunar eclipse, why it happens. Why? Because the shadow of the Earth, which was addressed, right? Which was addressed, that is the shadow, and that is all you know about science, that is lunar eclipse, right? The shadow comes in between. This is how the process goes. He discovered many things which normal people could not understand or could never think of all these things. Right? What we are doing right now is just moving forward with the flow of the information that we have from the ancient people in the terms of science and technology, and we are moving very ahead. We are moving very ahead. We are taking the help of the historical things that those people preserved, right? We are getting the knowledge, we are trying to understand that ancient science, the kind of heritage that they have kept for us, and we are upgrading ourselves so that we may get better results, so that the human living in the society will get more benefits. This is what it is. This is about the heritage of science and technology, right? That is why I have said in the first session that history is one of the most important thing for India, right? Because imagine if we don't have any kind of history, what information we are going to get, or what information we are going to have, what our forefathers or what our experts did in that era or in that time, what kind of contributions, what kind of achievements that they have discussed, what kind of achievements that they have done. We would not be having any kind of information or knowledge. So history is again an important thing to remember. Because of all that things, we are upgrading ourselves very easily. Right? Imagine if all these things were not there, were not present. Can we reach to this level that we are right now? We don't know. Maybe no, I guess. Right? We are upgrading ourselves very easily. Why? Because all the informations are available as a part of heritage, which our forefathers left for us, and we are getting all that information, learning it from all that things, and upgrading ourselves easily, whether it is science or whether it is technology. This is what we are doing today, right? So astrology and astronomy is again an important concept that is still exists today, that still exists today, because of the heritage that all that things were being discussed and developed during that era as a part of history. That is what you are learning, right? Again, over here I would like to remind, it is Aryabhat. It is Aryabhat, right? And the first satellite was launched on his names, right? That is Aryabhata and Ajarbar by the scholars. In the same manner, there is one more scholar, that is Brahmagupta, popularized the law of gravitation. Again, underline that statement, right? Brahmagupta popularized the law of gravitation in his book. What is the name of the book? Brahma Siddhant. That is Brahma Siddhant, right? Underline that whole statement. Varamihir was the great astrologer and astronomer who divided astrology into 3 sections. There is one more expert, right? One more great personality, that the name is Varamihir, right? Was a great astrologer and astronomer who divided astrology into 3 sections, that is Tantra, Hora and Samhita. Tantra, Hora and Samhita. His Grantha, that is his book, named Brahma Siddhant, Brihad Samhita, I'm extremely sorry, it is Brihad Samhita, gives information regarding effects of planets on man's future. Regarding effects of planets, the objects or the planets that are available at universe or that are there, which are existing in the universe, and when they rotate, when they move from their positions, it affects the humans. How does it affect? That is all been mentioned in this book. So there is one more personality, one more expert, right? That is Varamihir, right? He divided astrology into 3 sections, that is Tantra, Hora and Samhita. right? For more detailed information, you need to refer that book and read that book, so you'll get a better idea what he has discussed about the objects that are moving in the universe and how does it affects your life, right? And his grantha means the book that he has written, that is Brit Samhita, gives information regarding the effects of planets, on man's futures, his characteristics, various classes of animals, the time of marriage, ponds, wells, gardens, and good omen for sowing. Good omen for sowing means a good proper time for sowing seeds. We should feel pride that our ancestors were expert in various science. Our ancestors were expert in various science. He divided astrology into three concepts: Tantra, Hora, and Samhita. That is Vahamihir, right? Again, he gave all the things, all the benefits, or all the things which affects to the humans because of the planetary movement going on in the universe, right? Which are related to different fields. That is the time of marriage, the characteristics, the classes of animals, right? The ponds, wells, good time for sowing. What is the actual good time for sowing? All that things he discovered at that point of time, right? So this is again a very important concept that was being developed in the term of astronomy and astrology, right? And this person, that is Vahamihir, he was a great astrologer. He used to describe each and everything on the basis of the movements of the planets which are available in universe, or which are there in universe. And he used to, define the time of all the good things and gives suggestions to the people. The time of marriage, the time of, growing proper seeds, what is the actual good time. And these were the things that were being developed. And still it works even today. So that is again an heritage. So we should be thankful to all those people, to all those experts who were there at that point of time. And because of that experts that we had, we are getting all the systems, we are getting all the science, we are getting all the technologies, right? Imagine those histories books were not available. What kind of information we would have? What they actually did? From whom we learn? We learn from our seniors, right? We learn from our elders, right? Those were our elders, those were our forefathers, who have discussed each and everything, who have written books, different authors, different books with different subjects, with different informations. And when we read that thing, we get the knowledge and we upgrade ourselves as per the time. Remember chapter number 21, social change, right? We are moving on a very fast scale. How this system is available, how this fast scale has been there, because of the historical things that we have preserved of the ancient era, of the ancient people. This is what science and technology is of the ancient India, of the heritage of the ancient India. That is what it is, right? So that is all about astronomy and astrology, right? I hope both the concepts are clear. First is mathematics and second is astronomy and astrology, right? Moving towards the last concept for today, that is Vastu Shastra. What is Vastu Shastra? There is an immense contribution of ancient India in the field of Vastu Shastra. It is an inseparable part of astrology, right? Vastu Shastra of India is being recognized, dignified and praised by many countries of the world, right? You know what is Vastu Shastra, where to keep the bedrooms, where to keep the kitchen, where to keep all the necessary things as per the particular Vastu Shastra thing. Where should be the face of the house, right? In the east, west, north, south, all that things, that is a part of Vastu Shastra. And that is not developed today, that is developed many years ago, right? And it is recognized, dignified and praised by many countries of the world, right? Brahma, Narad, Brihaspati, Bhrigu, Vasistha and Vikrama have made unique contribution in the field of Vastu Shastra. Please underline all that names. I am repeating it again. Brahma, Narad, Brihaspati, Bhrigu, Vasishtha and Vikrama have made unique contribution in the field of Vastu Shastra. Right? These are the things or the names that you have to remember. This can be asked in a 1 mark MCQ, right? Or in 1 mark question and answer. They have propagated the principle of construction for dwelling, temples, palace, ashwalas, forts, storehouse of ammunitions and town planning. Right, all that things, how the construction should be done, where it should be done, what are the different phases, right, this side or that side, right, which is related to temples, which is related to storehouse of ammunition. Ammunition means all that things during that era, right, the weapons that the kings used to keep, right, in their fort or in their particular rooms or in their place, where it should be kept, how it should be kept, all that things is a part of Vastu Shastra. Is a part of Vastu Shastra, right? And even the town planning, how the whole town should be developed, right? It is a very difficult thing to define all these things, to develop all these things, right? We build a house. How we build? With perfection, right? The kitchen should be here, the room should be here, the terrace should be here, the particular gallery should be over here, the front face should be like this, all that things, right? We see the sun rays, whether it is from east or west or north from south. We see all that minute things and make a construction. So even the town planning system was also, or today is also a part of Vastu Shastra. Right? Because the second line says it is, recognized, dignifies and praised by many countries in the world. Right? Many people believe in all these concepts. Right? And build their construction, build their houses, right, offices, right, all that things, town planning, right, on the basis of Vastu Shastra. Next, the description of Vastu Shastra is mentioned, please, I am repeating it again, the description of Vastu Shastra is mentioned in Brihat Samhita. Rana Kumbha of Mewar received this science in 15th century after improving the previous versions of Vastu Shastra. See, again there are always upgradations as the time flows or as the time moves on. Right? So there is one personality, there is one book, that is Brihat Samhita. All that things which are related to Vastu Shastra are being mentioned, and Rana Kumbha of Mewar, that is, received this science in the 15th century, received or he got this book in the 15th century, right, after improving the previous versions of Vastu Shastra, right, he made certain changes, he improved all that things, and again, he got all the knowledge of this Vastu Shastra, right? That is written in the 15th century after improving the previous versions of Vastu Shastra, right? Next, according to the traditional belief, Vishwakarma was the first architect of gods. Underline that statement. According to the traditional belief, see, no one has seen God, right? We all follow different castes, we all follow different religions, right? We have different gods, but as per this traditional belief, that is Vishwakarma, that is the maker of this world, right, was the first architect of God, right? He divided Vastu Shastra into 8 sections. Various informations of Vastu Shastra, like selection of place, right, shapes, structure, proper planning of things, temples, Brahmasthan, dining room, bedroom, etc. are mentioned. As I have previously said, which I just give you an example how to construct the house. We want each and everything perfect, right? So this is what he mentioned. 8 sections that he has made in the terms of Vastu Shastra, right, where proper planning of things and proper places should be there of each and everything, right? That is all about Vastu Shastra, right? Next, As the time passes by, changes are taking place. See, I have already told we are flowing with the time. And as we are flowing with the time, we are upgrading ourselves constantly. So obviously there would be minor changes which are, developing as the era changes or as the century changes. Right? So there are always going to be some differences that what we think today and what has been written in the books of history. We cannot deny all that things because those people didn't have that kind of science and technology that we have today. So we are moving many years ahead. We are very modern. We are very fast forwarded people. So we think each and everything very fast. But at that point of time, there was not such kind of technology and science. So we cannot deny that that system or that concepts doesn't work today. It works today. But the people are changing. The thinking power of the people is changing. That is only the difference. Whatever has been mentioned in the books of history is all correct and always going to be correct. Whatever inventions that you are going to make in present is going to be a part of history in the next upcoming 50 to 100 years down the line. So do you expect that the next generation of 50 to 100 years down the line is going to accept what you have written in 2020 and 21? No. They would be even much more forwarded than you. Right? So obviously there are going to be certain kind of differences in Vastu Shastra. Some people might believe, some might not. Right? So we cannot deny all these things which are a part of history. History is something very important. Whatever the topic may be related to maths, astrology, astronomy, mathematics, metallurgy, chemistry or anything. Right? Those things were there, and as the time spent, we have seen Mewa, right, the king, that is Rana Kumbha. He made and upgraded versions of Vastu Shastra. There might be some other few kings who have got that book, who have got that knowledge, and again they might have made the improvements as per the time, as per the knowledge. Right? But we need to take the advantage of all that books, right, to get the maximum benefit out of it. This is what we have to do as a smart people of today. Read the books which are there or which are present or which are some historical books, get the knowledge and improve your standards in the term of knowledge. That is what we have to learn from history, because history never changes. It remains the same. You cannot question history. Whatever the concept is, it is always going to remain the same. Once it is gone, it is gone. What we can do is, we can get the knowledge from that books and upgrade ourselves. Right? That is again mentioned in the textbook. Right? This is how we have to learn. We have to get the knowledge of history. Right? Next. So again, 8 different sections that were being divided by Vishwakarma, first architect of gods, right, divided 8 sections in Vastu Shastra, right. And as the time passes by, changes are taking place regarding the principles of understanding of Vastu Shastra. Now it is being adopted by the foreigners also, right. Next, ancient Indian knowledge of science has been accepted by the world. Whatever knowledge that we have developed in the terms of science has been accepted by the world, right? Indian culture is a very fast and heterogeneous. It is a blending of science and religion, traditional idols and practical knowledge, which is rarely seen in other countries of the world. Tolerance and equality towards all religions. See, the most important point that the Indian people have, that is tolerance and equality towards all religion, is seen in our culture only. Whatever the caste and the culture may be, tolerance and equality to each and every people living in this society. We do not judge people on the basis of their caste or culture. That is the most important beneficial point in our country. That is what is still preserved or still exists today. Why does it exist today? Because the people during that era lived their life in that way. And we got the knowledge when we read those books. and still it has been preserved and been followed, that each and every culture is given equal importance, right? And in spite of having diversity in religion, lifestyle and values, we see unity in our country. And we should not forget that Indian culture reflects unique feature, that is unity in diversity. Even though we follow different religions, even though we follow different gods, right? Even though we are different in the name of caste and culture, we are still all together as a part representing an Indian. This is our culture. This is our, traditions that has been followed since many years, and it still exists today. India is considered as one of the most developing and fast-growing nations in the world. Right? And we need to maintain this equality in the terms of caste and culture. We should never judge a person on the basis of caste and culture. That is just dividing the particular people as per the caste. And that, weakens the part of the society. That makes the state, the district, the city weak and weak day by day if we start judging people on the basis of their caste and culture. Previous people, our forefathers, never did this. So, who have given us the right to do all these things? Even we should not judge anyone. We should treat each and everyone equally. That represents our Indian culture. Right? I'm repeating the last line again. See, we should not forget that Indian culture reflects unique features of unity in diversity. Even though different in the names of caste and culture, we are all still together. Right? So this is all about your chapter number 5, that is related to science and technology. There are 6 to 7 important concepts of this chapter. Right? Try to understand this chapter topic wise. The first topic that we did was heritage of ancient India, that is specially related to science and technology. The second things that we had discussed is all about metallurgy, different kind of metals. The third thing that we have discussed, that is all about chemistry, that is different chemical equations. And the fourth thing, that is in the field of medicines and surgeries, that is what we have discussed, different kind of medicines, natural plants through which medicines were being made, and different surgical concepts were being followed even in that era. How it was done, that is all we have discussed in the fourth topic. Today we have discussed 3 topics: mathematics, father of mathematics, all that things, geometry, subtraction, addition, multiplications, astronomy and astrology, planetary movements through which there might be effects on the humans, how we should preserve and protect, what are the benefits, what are the different authors, different books have been written by different great scholars and experts, right? And the last is Vastu Shastra, right? I hope all these 7 concepts are clear. Read the chapter twice so that your concept, so that your understanding will be much more stronger, right? So here we complete your chapter number 5. Right, whatever points that I'm making you underline, right, it's a request or a kind of suggestion to all the students who are watching this video. Please make a note and mark and write it down in a fair book or in a rough book, whatever, or in a diary. Right, whatever you have, whatever the statements that I'm making you underline, try to learn by heart. Right, that are all your cash marks that can be asked in 1 mark, MCQ, fill in the blanks, true or false, match the following. They can ask anywhere, right? Note down the concepts and try to make a habit of reading it twice rather than once. So when you read it twice, the understanding will be much more stronger. Thank you.